Before you buy something, anything at all, decide if the purchase will bring you closer or further away from your best life. One of the things I tell people about buying things, and by the way, I like nice things, we all like nice things, there's nothing wrong with that, is really determine if your spending is actually an expression of your greatest life. There have been some great things I've been able to do. One of them was I was able to tour my show and take it to New York. In order to do that, I had to take 2.5 weeks off. Now, what's interesting for me is I don't work for a company, which means that there isn't somebody who's going to give me 2 weeks or 3 weeks of vacation pay. I have to be working with no income, essentially. But I was able to do that because, quite frankly, I live beneath my means. I make plenty of money to support myself, but I don't spend every dollar I make. It's very easy to do, particularly in the culture I live in. There's a lot of competition, there's a lot of sort of internal desire to keep up with other people. But the thing is, you have to determine what's really deeply important to you. For me, experiences are incredibly important. Travel is incredibly important to me. Those are the things that matter most to me. I'm able to do those things because I don't spend my money on things that don't matter. So how do you do this? One of the things I encourage people to do is to make a little laminated card and place it in your wallet. And when you're about to use your credit card, go to that card instead and ask yourself, okay, do I need this right now? Is it a need or is it a want? Is it something that's going to bring me closer to my best life or further away from it? Is it bringing me further into debt? And if those answers do not align with your values, then don't make the purchase. Give yourself 24 hours, 48 hours before you actually decide you deeply want something. I can almost guarantee you that if you give yourself a little bit of a waiting period, you'll probably not end up buying it and forget exactly what it looks like. If it's not something you desperately need, let it go, because it isn't going to help you live your best and greatest life. We are deeply dedicated to you earning your worth and owning your future. And part of owning your future is not to be owned by a credit card company, not to be deep into debt, but you cannot do that if you're trying to purchase happiness. So as you're moving forward, I want you to think hard about what you're purchasing. We talked about this earlier, if you might recall, this idea of being a conscious consumer. Decide if every purchase you're making is actually a need or if it's just a transitory want. And so for this exercise, I'd like you to make sure that you give yourself 48 hours for any purchase above $10. I know, it's a really low number. But anything that is not a need, medication, food, gas, anything like that, give yourself 48 hours to determine whether you really want this. Do this for about a week and see how it actually changes your spending behavior. And check in and sort of see how that makes you feel. And at the end of it, if nothing else, you'll have a whole hell of a lot more money in your pocket.